Hello, good morning, December 21, and let's look into the daily news commentary. Lok Sabha passes bill to link electoral rolls with Aadhaar. Now, we have to understand how a bill is passed. Passage of a bill in the parliament. Procedure has to be understood, and also like how it becomes an act. These things needs to be clear. Now this bill is, I think it's already passed in Lok Sabha, so it is remaining to be passed in Rajya Sabha. But just look into some of the basic premises of that bill, what the bill is saying, not more than that. So if Rajya Sabha also passes that, we will see what it is. What is a delimitation panel? Understand that this has been in news with respect to delimitation of seats in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. So what is a delimitation panel? What is the constitutional provisions with respect to delimitation panel? All things need to be seen. What is SEBI? Just look into SEBI prelims perspective, and then in GS to regulatory bodies, we have to study a few. SEBI is one of that. Then again in regulatory bodies, while we are studying that, we are not usually studying the regulatory bodies each specifically, but rather you look at the basic features of these couple of regulatory bodies like SEBI or the insurance regulatory IRDC something, I'm not sure, regulatory and development insurance regulatory and development authority IRDC. So a couple of regulatory bodies like that. We look at, you look at what is basic things, what is their mandate is, that's it. Okay, so today SEBI, not all these things, to SEBI, look at what is SEBI, what is the mandate of SEBI, that's it. Into the here. All right. So into the editorial page, we have editorial on the India Central Asian relations. So what is great game rivalry? Please look into that. It's a historical time, 1800s, those period. There was a rivalry between different powers to conquer, or rather to bring the Central Asia under their influence. So that is the modern great game is different. So look into what is great game is, and similarly similarly give a basic idea of what the Indian relationship is like. Some of the key factual or key points like North-South transport corridor, Tapi pipeline, right, and China's measures there, what can India do, all these things are mentioned. So gives you a basic baseline of what India Central Asia relations are. So go through that. Then this one, not important. For Afghan movement, it's a great regression. It's good to read this one, but particular question on mains seems of rare chance, but there could be an issue of humanitarian crisis in the context of Afghan across the world could be asked. So if that question is asked, always try to bring in the women aspect. That is always part of the question. So this is a dimension that you have to remember. Alright, then the sustained attack on federalism is a really good article. Especially this article focus on fiscal federalism. So obviously we have studied about which all of the federalism. So if you haven't already studied that thoroughly in your polity part, please make sure you have a particularly sound note on federalism for your GS2 topics for mains. Make sure that. Now fiscal federalism, you may have not, you may not have not, you may have studied, you may not have studied. So fiscal federalism is not routinely covered in classroom programs. So you have to identify what is fiscal federalism, how in India, identify the issues of fiscal federalism in India and its unitary bias, recent issues, way forward. Also bring in the institution of Finance Commission in this context. So this much you should study fiscal federalism, very important. And this article gives out several instances where the idea of fiscal federalism is being attacked, as they say, in India the last couple of years. So it also gives certain keywords: federal flexibility. So Rajaminar Committee is there. National Working Commission to review the working of Constitution is there. So read this article well. Take the instances. Take the arguments. That's good. Then rising inequality means another good article. Inequality is one of the major issues India is facing. GS3 India is one of the most unequal countries in the world today. Numbers are given. Right. So this is necessarily not from Indian perspective, it's from a global, general perspective. But again, read that. Work on Indian context. Identify. Link it with the idea of inclusive development. Inclusive development and inequality. Read that. Alright. Yeah, so a couple of good articles there. Then as you move forward, let's see if there is more. Fugitives. Who are fugitives? Just look into that. Fugitive economic offenders and things like that is there. To make choksy, people like them. That's who are fugitives are. Similarly, question hour. See what is question hour. And similarly, see what is start and non-start questions. This is good for prelims. Okay. So there's also this one finding, like 20 start questions during question hour had been first time since 1972. Now just see what is SSB, Sashastra Seema Bal, what is their mandate and things. Prelims perspectively. ASPA, we have dealt with ASPA elaborately in a couple of days. So if you haven't, please look into those videos and do what is necessary for ASPA. Make note on ASPA, very critical. And it's also has also been uploaded in our Telegram channel, so you can get the brief there. They urge MPs to look at the root cause of early marriage. So child marriage and early marriage, understand the reasons. There is socio-economic reasons for it, understand them. Right, again a brief has been put in our Telegram channel. We can easily access the content from there. The fisherman issue between India and Sri Lanka, work on that. BIMSTEC, now I think we are getting BIMSTEC for the first time. See what, where, why, how, everything of BIMSTEC. Also there is like exercise going on, PANX 21. Sometimes UPSC asks prelims questions from these exercises that is happening, so you can take that. This can be looked at, just read that, see if there is anything that is significant for GS for a case study or an example or something like that, that you can look for. No, this is important. See, India, Myanmar, India, Maldives relations is like up and down relation, India, Maldives. Now you have to identify, study this, maybe make it 1.5 page note. So just see the background of Myanmar, or the governance in Myanmar. So there was like Mohammad Nasheed first, then Abdul Yamin came in. So Abdul Yamin was thoroughly anti-India, and then Muhammad Soli came in. He moved closer to India. Yamin was on the other hand closer to China. So you will get that basic idea by reading this article. So this is good enough for Maldives. So identify, just see India-Maldives relationship, how that is happening. And then there is one operation from 1980s where LTT was trying to capture Maldives and India helped. I am not exactly recollecting that name. That name also can be brought in from the background of part. Otherwise, just look into what is India's relationship with Maldives, importance of India's relationship with Maldives, measures taken, issues, and way forward. See that. Competition Commission we had seen yesterday. If you haven't already, please look into that again. MCA 21, what is it? It's related to e-governance. You can use this particular one, e-governance, in GS2 also. See what is MCA 21 portal for prelims perspective 2. Getting me? Right. So that's it for today. The article on vaccine complacency is not particularly required. Again, so is the case of Hong Kong. You can just understand, try to understand what's happening in Hong Kong. That is something you can look in from prelims and mains perspective. Mains, although it's of limited scope, but a larger topic, in the case of China or maybe the case of democracy's retreat, all these things you can look in, you can add value by bringing Hong Kong in. So Hong Kong is an issue. Just Google it. You will get a BBC or other some kind of video documentary, small one, 10 minutes or something, not more than that. Don't go into the entire history of Hong Kong. Just read that small one. That will be enough. Okay. So that's it for today. Have a good day. Study well.